Hit record. Let me hit Facebook.
Mic check.
Sound good, man.
Thanks.
So I'll tell you when I have this running, so you guys can go to your Facebook and hit the live stream over on your side. So this is going live now. The live stream is going. Put this little timer on so y'all have time to just get your you guys go ahead and check your Facebook and then forward over or share from my page to your page so that you got this broadcasting. And we'll be starting in 90 seconds.
Earl, can you hear me?
Yep, your volume is good. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you've been able to share from my Facebook page over to your story.
I can't get it yet. It's trying to share from my phone. Hold on a second. Trying to share from my phone.
Okay, so it is running live, so you guys should be able to share. Okay. I'm about to go to my Instagram and give them some love shortly. All right, welcome Facebook. Welcome. We are blessed and extremely highly favored to start our segment of Level Up with someone who's near and dear to me. You know, not only is he a businessman, not only is he someone who really cares about the community, he is actually one of my brothers in Christ. And he is the owner of Strategic Funding and Strategic Funding Solutions. And me and my Level Up team, we're gonna take the next couple minutes, just introduce you guys to Brother Curtis, so that he can share some of the important things that has been milestones for him. And so, give me 30 seconds to hit start on Instagram. and we're going to begin this process. All right. So, well, I just lost that bio. Had it and I lost it. All right. As I pull up the bio, let me take a moment to kind of introduce our panel today. Hailing from the mighty DC area, we have OC. OC, say greetings.
Greetings, everybody. Greetings.
Okay. Hailing from the Maryland area, say hello, Olivia.
Hi, everyone.
Also from the Maryland area, say hello, Cornell.
Hey, greetings, everybody. Greetings, everyone.
All right. And our own Rochester, New York, Veronica, say hello.
Hi.
All right. So our panel is in place. Our featured guest is ready. Let me share with you a little bit about Curtis. Curtis R. Henderson has an MBA. He has had several years of government and corporate finance experience in the financial industry. He carries a degree in accounting, a minor in economics from West Virginia State University, and has an MBA from Thomas More College. He has worked as a cost accountant for Sun Chemical and Gibson's Greetings. Curtis has also worked as the fund manager for the city of Pontiac Treasury Department, an accountant for the Cincinnati Public Schools. Although new to the Rochester area, he has served as the Baden Street Settlement of Rochester, New York, as their finance director, and is now currently the assistant director for the CDR Pool Trust. He has over 20 years of extensive accounting experience in both the government and corporate realm. He has diverse experience and has allowed him to develop a skill set that are easily adaptable to the current fast-paced business industry. As a result, he has extraordinary talent for turning challenges into solutions that yields profitable results. The CDR is a perfect fit for Curtis because it simply serves needs for the community. I could go on and on, but let me just speak from my heart. What I love most about Brother Curtis is not only is he knowledgeable, not only is he a people person, obviously as an accountant, he knows his numbers. But what I like most about Curtis is he has a huge heart for the community and he's committed to helping people. So, without further ado, let's give some love for my big brother, Curtis Henderson. All right, all right. So mic check, mic check. Cornell, take us away.
Yes. I got these questions I can answer. So let's see. My first question that I have is, what's the one piece of advice you wish you could give your younger self? Right. One piece of advice.
I guess one piece of advice is that kind of always be building. There's going to be enough of people that's tearing down and uh, 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 destroying things. To just always be building. Make sure you build in yourself. You can help so many more people when you help yourself first. It doesn't mean that you don't have compassion for others. It doesn't mean that you don't have love and support for others, but you can help so much more when you first learn to build for yourself. And used to say a poem um, with my frat, and one of the poems where it ain't the individual nor the army as a whole, but the everlasting teamwork of every blooming soul. So a good thing to remember, but a better thing to do. You work with the construction game and not the wrecking crew. Always be building, build up yourself, build up your knowledge base, build in areas that you didn't learn in. You always under construction, and you'll be okay no matter what you try put forth.
I love it. I love it. That's amazing. That's amazing. And can you share pivotal moment in your life that shaped who you are today?
Pivotal moment. I would say a pivotal moment was when my political science teacher asked me one day, she said, Curtis, are you going to college? And this is my senior year, man. And I said, yeah, I'm going to college. She said, well, what schools have you applied for? I said, I haven't applied yet, but I'm gonna apply as soon as I graduate. So people that know you can't apply for college when you graduate. You have to apply a lot sooner. So she said, Curtis, you need to apply. Let me talk to my mom, who was the president of the alumni chapter for West Virginia State College in Detroit. And she said, I'm gonna talk to my mom and see if we can get you down in West Virginia State. You know, uh, so I was like, okay. So she called me and said, well, you need to take the ACT. So I was like, okay, I do know I need to take this test, but okay, let me take it, and so I sent out the little back then you had to send out this I had to send it at FedEx because it had to get there because this was a very last chance I could take this test. So needless to say, I got it in on time at the last minute, of course, and I get my ticket. So the ticket is, to take this exam. So I put this exam ticket in the sun visor in my mom's car because I knew I was going to take my mom's car to take the exam. That ticket stayed there for a whole month. In the night, I was before I went to take the test, my brother called himself cleaning out the car, and he took the ticket out and put it on top of the refrigerator. So I get down to the test, the exam site, and I said, oh man, my ticket's not there, but I do have my driver's license, so maybe that'd be good enough. I get to the front of the line, they say, you need that ticket, bro. You can't take this exam unless you had that ticket. Now, we lived all the way across town, which not that far in Pontiac, because Pontiac is small. So I jumped in my car and hit about 70, 80, ran some lights, jumped over the railroad tracks, ran in the house and said, bro, what did you do with that ticket? He's like, it's on top of the refrigerator. I grabbed the ticket and just left. So I ran my mom's little celebrity Chevrolet Celebrity to the ground where it stopped right at the light at the hill before you get to the school. And the adrenaline in me pushed that car up the hill and put it in the parking spot. And I ran and I got in just in time. I didn't even have a pencil at that point. So I sat down for the first 5 minutes just to catch my breath. And needless to say, I took the exam and was able to get in college. So that was the most kind of pivotal point in my life. It came with a lot of acrobatics and a lot of desire, to achieve something that was at a level that no one in my family had reached before. And being the first to do something to graduate with a 4-year degree in my family was very pivotal for me and my family.
Awesome. Blessings. So how do you find balance in the chaos of modern life itself?
Balance is sometimes hard, especially when you have kids, you have a career, you have a family, but it's absolutely necessary because when you're out of balance, things get 10 times harder. So you have to balance life. You have to uh, really focus on organizational structure, and that's even in all businesses. The number one thing is you have to have organizational structure, and that's also in your family life. Also, you have to have organization. When you're not organized, you make things harder for you. You waste a lot of time. You procrastinate a lot and things like that. And all those things I fight against, and I fought against, and it's important and pivotal for anyone's success is to balance that out.
Absolutely.
Chaos is a part of business, but chaos does not have to rule your business, you know.
Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely.
Hi, fam. I have the next question, and I wanted to know what is the most important lesson you've learned about relationships and connections?
Oh, my mom always taught me speak to people. And I never forget when I first went to college, I didn't know anybody in West Virginia, absolutely no one. And my mom said, "You talk, speak, So I would make sure I speak to people. Whenever I was in the A building, which was the administration building, and I had a couple classes in there, and I would knock on the president's door. Right? And I used to knock, then I just walk in and talk to the secretary, and I just come in and I say, "Hey, I'm just saying hi, just walking past, wanted to shake the president's hand," and I do that all often, and it forged a relationship with me and the president that later on became very important to me. Right across the hall was the financial aid office, and for my English course, and I would always go in every time I had English class, and I say hello, and I say hello to all the ladies in there, and the director, he was there, and those ladies really, really took care of me, just from speaking, just from saying hello. So it taught me the connection of people, not only from the top, but also to the in between and at the bottom is very important. You can get through doors that you didn't even know were there. Uh, One of the things that one time I went to talk to the ladies in financial aid. I just say, hey, just saying hi is a big line. That was back when lines were going around buildings for financial aid office. But I was just speaking, so I didn't have to stand in line. But then one day, one of the ladies said, "Hey, Curtis, I need you to come sign this." So I would go in and sign the paper, and then I'd go to class, and that saved me hours of time sitting in that line. But it's always important to connect with people. When I was looking for a job, I knew that I couldn't talk to the treasurer for the Cincinnati Public Schools, but I knew I could talk to the secretary. So I would have a long conversation with the secretary, and then she wouldn't even know what I was standing there for. And then I was like, and I tell her, well, I'm here because I'm about to apply for this job at the Treasury Department as a budget accountant. And she was like, oh, okay. And so I don't know if she did anything. All I know is I got a call and I got the job. So just those connections is very important. One of my friends, he said that, he, I always suggest people leave their hometown and go to school, because it's an opportunity for you to experience life, meet people from all over the country and things like that. But you can still do that in your hometown also. And one time one of my friends, he said, well, Curtis, out of all your college buddies, how often do you see them? And I said, man, we don't really see each other as much as I would like. He's like, well, his son, he told his son to stay in town and go to school in the same state. And he still are very close to all those buddies that he went to college with. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Man. See, that's another way of looking at it, you know. So no matter what, if you go out to school, go uh, and you explore the world or whatever, just figure out a way to maintain those connections. Those connections really shape your environment and also can support you, and when you need the support that you need.
Awesome. So that goes into my next question. In times of adversity, what keeps you motivated and hopeful to keep on going?
What keeps you motivated? Sometimes it seems like a lot of times when you go through a struggle, sometimes it feels like you've been there before. So the goal is not to stay there. So it becomes the challenge, to face something head on and not shy away from it, and to face the music for it, even if it brings you pain. It's just important to deal with it and get it past you, and then build on it. If you never face it, if you never go through it, you know then a lot of times what'll happen is it'll stay there for years. I think Oprah Winfrey once said that she had a problem with somebody, and she couldn't stand this person. Every time she thought about him, that made her sick. And then one day she saw the person across the street laughing and having a good old time. She spent all that time upset with somebody that's moved on with their lives, and a lot of times that's what happens with us. We get stuck into a mindset that keep us stuck, where your goal is to build. Your goal is to move past it and to get past it as quick as you possibly can. Because one thing I'm learning now, even more than ever, is success loves speed. If you're moving and you're trying to get through, to get to a goal, do it as fast as you can. That way you can go to your next thing that you or the next challenge. And that other challenge would be just a building block for your ultimate goal.
Awesome. So we know that you wear many hats. What does self-care mean to you and how do you practice it nowadays?
Ooh, that's something that I really have to do better with. Just taking care of yourself. It's important. Uh, when you take care of yourself, you really release a lot of tension and allow you to gain focus. When you tensed and always in the fight, everybody has to take a break. Everybody has to take a break. Everybody has to, you know, just leave whatever they're doing and to go focus on something else. And it also helps you out even in the short run. It helps you out in the long run. It helps you out in the short run too. Because even when you um, handling your day to day, they tell you to handle that big problem first while you have the most energy, and then lead to the smaller things throughout the day. But once you get through that big thing, that big problem, that big issue, it helps you out so much in terms of relieving you to handle all the other little things. But that also is an effect helps you with your self-care. If you can take a break and then rejuvenate yourself. I don't care what it is. A lot of people like, you know, my wife like to go to the chiropractor and go to stretch places and massages. She does it all. And I say, okay, I gotta somehow figure out how to do this and
Me too,
intertwine
bro.
that
Me
into my
too. I
busy
like that
schedule.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's important. It's important. And it's and also a release. You gotta release. Otherwise it becomes tension. And tension sometimes forces you to make irrational decisions. And you don't want to be put in that position.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Curtis.
No, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Curtis, for the insight. I just have a few questions, not too long. So, can you tell us about a book or film you have that has had a profound impact on you and why?
I read a book one time called Dare to Be a Man, and very, very good book. It taught me a lot about a lot of the struggles that we go through in life, as especially as Black men. Um, why some of those problems can be pushed onto your significant others. Sometimes they can be kicked down the road, kicking that can down the road, and you don't never address it, and then you don't deal with the emotional things that come with it. So you gotta, and in reading that book, it helped me to understand that I gotta deal with that inner self. That inner self has pain, that inner self has disappointment, that inner self has frustration, and if you never deal with it, you'll find yourself always making some of the same mistakes over and over and over again. So that was just one of the books that I read that was just really, really good and helped me focus on that, on those things.
Thank you. And what role does gratitude play in your daily life, and how has it influenced your journey?
Say that one more time, sorry.
What role has gratitude played in your daily life, and how does it influence your journey so far?
Gratitude is something that I'm trying to focus on more and more every day. Um, just be grateful. Um, there's a lot of people that's in harder situations, harder positions that I'm in, and they don't know, they don't have the skill set, they don't have the tools, they don't have the support behind them to help them get through it. And God blessed me with all those things. He blessed me with a big family. I have a big I have two brothers and five sisters, and those sisters kept me in order as a kid, and they try to keep me in order now too. But just being grateful for where I am, and also it also allows you to the Bible tell you His grace is sufficient, you know, and sometimes you have to realize that where you are right now is good enough, you know. It doesn't mean stay right there. It doesn't mean not to grow, but it means that there's nothing wrong with where you are, you know. Just realize where you are, realize where God has you, and then try to figure out where God wants you to go. And then you have to, and that will help you to just have a be grateful, not only for the life and that I'm living, but also will help steer me towards my destiny and to my purpose.
Thank you. That's quite insightful. Thank you for that. So how do you define success, and um has it how do you define success? Let me go again. And has that definition evolved over the years?
It
Your
has.
definition of success. Mhm.
I used to define success as graduating from college, you know, but I define success in different projects or things that I'm involved with. Success for me was to start when I played football in college. Uh, that was success. Success for me was to graduate from college. That was success. You know, at the job, success is to get to the highest point of where I want to be in that job. So it's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. And ultimate success for me is to get to heaven and to help my family get to heaven. You know, to leave a legacy for my family and to leave something where my kids don't have to start from the beginning like I had to do. You know, and to me that is successful.
Thank you so
You know,
much.
that's amazing. You say that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine, Osi. You can go.
Okay. Great, great. So it sounds like success is a journey, instead of a pivot point or a mountaintop experience. But can you
Absolutely.
share a moment when you truly felt empowered, and how did that change your path?
Hmm. Okay. Well, um, I guess one of the things that made me feel empowered was that my fraternity. When I crossed into Alpha at West Virginia State, uh, people saw leadership in me from the start. I became the president of the chapter almost a month after I crossed, and uh, that power uh, taught me that you know there's a lot to accomplish, and in order to accomplish it, you have to understand first where you are, and then what is your goal. Can you can you take what's in you and share it with others in a way that they can join you in accomplishing your goal. That's pivotal to everything you do in your life, in work, at home, at the church, at your job or your business. you know how can you take what's in you, share it in a way where people can join you. you know um when I was trying to get the Pontiac Silverdome at one point, and I was trying to introduce a global baseball league uh, to America. because right now it says a World Series, but the world is not playing, so it's all propaganda, So to have a real World Series, we was gonna call it a global championship. Well, one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to introduce uh, Black entrepreneurs into like every space that I was working in. So I met Russell Simmons, and Russell Simmons at the time had Baby Fat. I wanted him to do our jerseys. So he was promoting his book, and I was he's gonna be in Detroit area. So I was like, okay, let me go meet him. So I met him, and I told him I wanted him to do the jerseys. It had been a big feather in our cap in terms of trying to get the Silver Dome. But he said to me, "You haven't read my book." I was like, "No, I haven't read your book." He's like, "Read my book and then call me." So I got his book and
Wow.
I read it, and I realized that he he got offered to do jerseys for a hockey team, and he told the people that was offering him that's not what he do. That's not his passion, and he works in his passion. And he was more of the Argyle socks and the Boys to Men look, type of deal. So that told me that he wasn't in sports attire. So when I reached back out to him, he said, "You get your project going, and I introduce you to Nelly." But in reading his book, one of the things he said is that he found success being a part of other people's dreams. When he said he's never rapped a lyric, he never rocked a microphone. Whenever he did Def Comedy Jam, they bring him up to the stage. He say, "Thank you, have a good night," and that's it. You know, but he became a force for other people's dreams. You know, and that right there really gravitated to me. Even when I was working with the Global Baseball League, I didn't play baseball, but I knew people that was playing baseball. We were trying to connect with the big heavy hitters and things like that. But that right there allowed me to understand that power sometimes is not designed for you to hold, but you can steer it, and
That's
you can
good.
help people achieve their goals, and that goals can be profitable even for you.
That's awesome. Awesome experience as well. But living in a world of where we live in a world of likes now, and a lot of times that comes with a lot of criticism and negativity. So I would like to know, how do you handle criticism and negativity, and what advice would you give to others on this?
Criticisms and negativity. It's funny because we often put criticism and we connect criticism with negativity. Criticism is not always negative. Sometimes it's acknowledging some of your shortcomings, and with me, my shortcomings is only designed to for me to build on and to make me stronger. So to me, that's positive. Now, negativity, that's a whole different ballgame. If you come to me and you're negative to me, and then I say, okay, well, that's negative.
Mhm.
So you can't say it's negative without properly sharing the positive. This is the positive way of this. How can we look at it this way and then not look at it as a negative? Uh, One of the easiest things to find is blame. You can find it every time you look for it. I can find blame. I can blame you for spilling this water, even though you're not the one that knocked it down,
Right.
but you put the cup low enough so your kid can come and knock it down. Well, I didn't knock it down. But it's easy to find blame. It's easy to find negativity and criticisms. It's hard to find solutions that help build build character, build spirituality, build strength.
That's
Try to
very
focus on that on every level. Your life will be better. Because if you focus on negative, if you focus on criticism, then you're gonna have a hard time. So my thing is, if you focus on the positive, focus on even when somebody's speaking to you in a negative way, One of the times we had a member who was on the phone at the Center for Disability Rights, and everybody said, she cussed me out. She cussed me out. I was like, oh, really? Usually that's when somebody's trying to get an answer to a question that you're not able to provide. So when I spoke with the person, I said, well, our ultimate goal is this, this. Isn't that your ultimate goal? And she said, yes. I was like, well, let's see how we can do it. How can we achieve this together? And just that calmness and the voice that I was trying to speak to her at, it took her from a position of battle to a position of somebody is trying to help me. I need to let them help me.
Wow.
So it's all about how you look at it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So it seems like these constants are always there, the negative and positive, but it's the mindset that changes everything. So that's great. I appreciate you sharing that. But can you describe a recent act of kindness that inspired you or made your day?
A recent act of kindness. Um, recent act of kindness. I would say I watch these reels on my phone all the time. Sometimes that's my entertainment. But there was a reel where um they was trying to get this in a game, they was trying to get this blind little girl to shoot a basket and to make it. So they would tap on the back of the backboard, and that would let her know where to shoot the ball. And she made it. And that right there to me was just an act of humanity. It gives you hope, even for those who seem like they don't have any hope or peace, and it just reminds you to look beyond. The one thing people want to be is a part. They want to be a part of everyday life. They want to be a part of the conversation. They don't want handouts or hand me downs, even when they have no other choice but to take it. But that was very, very inspiring.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. Because I want to, before we end this segment, um I want to basically, first of all, tell you, Curtis, how excited I am of our business relationship. For those who have just been joining us, um, Curtis has a lot of hats he wears. The hat that he is so graciously agreed to wear for me is to be my bookkeeper for my Airbnb portfolio. So Curtis, could you just share with the people some of the services that you do provide, and and if they have a desire to reach out to you, how to do that?
Okay, I do kind of a lot. I try to stay in the financial world because that's just my wheelhouse right now. I I do uh, uh, help people with their business taxes. I do business setup, organizational structure. I help people with grants and grant writing. Um, I also help with with bookkeeping and things of that nature. My passion is to get people to invest. So I train people on how to trade and invest in the forex market. Learning foreign currency. That's where currently close to 5.6 trillion dollars is traded every day. So one of the first things I asked myself when I learned that at that point it was 5.2 trillion traded every day, I was like, that's too much money for me not to get some of it. That was my first thought, and I had to learn, how to do it. And I spent a lot of time learning. I spent a lot of time training people on how to participate in it because it's right there in front of us. And I always tell this story. And one of these days, Elgin Milton gonna get mad at me, but there's a guy that I played ball against. He was actually my neighbor at one time, and when I was a little kid. But we grew up, and he was a year older than me. But we call him Ugg. Ugg ran a 4.240, and if you play football or play any type of sports, you know that's fast. 4.240 is probably faster than 90% of the NFL players in the NFL. And he was running it in high school. And one time I was playing D tackle at the time, and he got a quick pitch, and I saw it, and I read it perfectly, and I was within arm's length with him, and I'm running full tilt, and he barely jogging, but he knew I couldn't touch him. Uh, He was within arm's length, and he knew I couldn't touch him, and I was like, man, he better not pause for a second. I'm gonna clean his clock. But he knew I couldn't touch him, and a lot of times that's the financial world to the layman. Um, It's right there in front of us. We know it's there. We know people making money from it, and we can't even touch it. And that is where I would say close to 90% of African Americans are. And it's only because number one, we're afraid and we don't have the knowledge and we don't have nobody that could show us
Right.
in our language.
Absolutely.
So that is one of the main reasons why training people on how to trade and getting people interested in it to do it themselves, and they'll change their lives forever.
Amen. Amen. So Curtis, if someone has a desire and a willingness to be coachable, what I'm hearing is they can get in contact with you, and you have something in place where you can get them from point A to point B.
Absolutely. Right now I'm actually working on my training module, where I can actually not only take you there individual. Right now I do all my trainings one-on-one, but I'm also moving it to where it's a more of a video module system, and then a live training a module where also I spit out trades I use the Fibonacci sequence. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Fibonacci sequence, but if you haven't heard of it, I know you haven't in science and it's in the school teaching schools,
Of
but
course.
there is something called a perfect number. That perfect number is real. It's and that it's called the 0.618. If you learn that, I can literally teach you how to trade utilizing 5 colors and 7 numbers.
Wow.
And if you can memorize 5 colors, 7 numbers, I'm gonna add 4 letters too. I didn't even say 5 letters. I just said 4 letters. If you can memorize those things, I can teach you how to trade. It's not as hard as you think it is. It's not as difficult. All it takes is a willing to learn.
Amen. Amen. We're going to keep people on the edge of their seats because being a math teacher, what I do is infinitely more complicated than what you just said. And I believe
Mhm.
what you're doing is a lot more useful at the end of the day. So 4 colors and 4 numbers. Oh my God. So
4 colors, 7 numbers,
7 numbers. Oh
four
my goodness.
colors, 7 numbers, and uh, 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 4 letters.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can teach you the Fibonacci sequence, and you'll never look at numbers the same.
Wow. That's exciting. That's exciting. Well, Curtis, before we tap out, how can people reach out to you on social media?
Um, I, I'm I'm really designing my social media platform because I haven't taken advantage of it. I really haven't. I'm slow with that. But right now you can always email me. My email address is Curtis, the number 2, Henderson at gmail.com.
Okay.
Again, that's Curtis, the number
And
2.
I'll have it on the comments below. Yep.
Okay, Henderson gmail.com. And you can also reach me by my cell phone, 734-717-8634.
Amen. Amen.
I suggest you text me first because I might not answer.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, well, Curtis, man,
Please, can you go over the number again?
big,
Oh, yes,
big
ma'am.
love.
734-717-8634.
Thank you.
Big love, man. Thank you so, so much. You know, you know, want to let you know we don't take your time for granted. We really appreciate it. And can I get a commitment from you, man? Can I bring you back in 6 months? Because
Oh, absolutely.
okay, because I feel like I'm drawn to be one of your students. Because you know,
Oh,
my
okay.
premise
Awesome.
my premise is that, you know, it's one thing to make money, but you want your money making money. You want your, we call them, you know, baby money, money babies. And so we already know how to work hard. We've seen it from our parents and our grandparents and our great grandparents. Now we're trying to work smart. We're trying to use this. And I think that's what you're offering, folks. I
And let me tell
appreciate
you,
it.
when you talk, you said it right there. We got to work smarter. And one of the things that I learned is I watched Rock's Comedy Hour one time, and he said in his neighborhood he has Mary J. Blige, the queen of R&B. We have Jay-Z, a rap mogul. We have him, an upcoming comedian, and right next door to him is a dentist. He's like, what teeth are you cleaning that allow you to live amongst the greats? How much do it cost to clean each tooth? But what he didn't really understand was he was taking the money he was making from dentistry and he was investing it properly. And if you invest, if you know how to move your money, a lot of people tell you you should move your money while you sleep. Your money should grow while you sleep, but nobody tell you how.
Mhm.
Every time somebody said it, then they say, well, this is what you got to do. Well, how?
Mhm. Mhm.
Learn how to trade, learn how to invest. That's how you do it. And don't be afraid.
That's the last word there. That's the last word. All right, well, everybody, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for tapping in with us at Level Up. And we will see you guys next time. Take care and God bless.
God
Thanks for
bless.
having me.
Thanks for coming.
God bless you.
God bless.